very fine. Once again, a very good morning to all of you. And slowly and slowly, we are progressing up with the syllabus of nationalism in India. We had discussed Short March. We had discussed the movement of Mahatma Gandhi. We had discussed the movement of Mahatma Gandhi, that is non-cooperation movement, the civil disobedience movement, the Khilafat issue, the tensions within the Muslims and the Hindus, and the splits with regard to the ideology of Hindus and Muslims. Today we are going to discuss with Hindu and Muslims clash. We have been knowing that some of the Muslim political organization, what was that Muslim organization? The name of that Muslim organization was Muslim League. Muslim League, which was formed in the year 1906. Muslim League was not very much satisfied with the working of the Congress. Why? Because the Congress party, which took up the responsibility of paving the way for the freedom so as to get rid from these English people. So they were basically the Hindus, the Brahmins, as well as some of the other communities within the Hindu criteria. So we are finding that some of the political organization in India rarely participated in the civil disobedience. They rarely participated in the non-cooperation. Rather, they did not have their say in the participation of Khilafat issue also. Some sort of thing was missing somewhere, which literally led them to be apart from civil disobedience, non-cooperation, as well as the Khilafat issue. Or you can talk about the Dandi March and so on, whatever things comes within that. So some of the political organization, Muslim organization, they did not participate. The reasons behind were what? They felt separated from the Congress. The very first thing. The reason was they felt separated. They felt separated from Congress. Because the very first thing which I told, it was the Congress party which were the dominance of Brahmins and other Hindu castes and other social divisional groups also, in which the Muslims were not a single member. So it's a universal phenomenon where there is a majority, so literally the minority will naturally have some of the laggings over there. So the first thing which the Muslim organization felt was that they felt separated from the Congress. Whatever participation they wanted to have, they felt that their participation is not up to the mark. They felt that whatever position they would be getting in the Congress, that position they were not having. They felt that the interest of the Muslims should be preserved, should be protected. So they came to an understanding that no, if we go on like this, the interest, the reservation, as well as the privileges of the Hindus cannot be secured. Muslims. So they took it granted that this Congress party, who is taking the burden of the freedom for the country is not in touch with the Muslim community. They are not feeling that much of strength that we have got the support of the Congress. They felt separated from that. They felt separated from the Congress. From the mid 1920s, the Congress came to be more visible, associated with openly Hindu religious nationalist groups like the Hindu Mahasabha. As relationship between Hindus and Muslims worsened, Hindu-Muslim communal clash and riots occurred in several places. In 1916, there happened to be a Surat split. In which the Hindus and Muslims could not come to an understanding. There happened to be a gap between the Hindus and Muslims. The differences in the ideology, the differences in the viewpoints. So Hindus and Muslims, there was a split between them. So this worsened the situation at that time. The vehicle of freedom, which comprised of getting together of all the sections of the people, either it was the Hindus, the Muslims, the Christians, the Sikhs, the Jains, and other co-criterions like the Dalits, the Harijans, and so on, the depressed classes. Until and unless they would not come under one umbrella, then it would be very difficult. Then it would have been very difficult for the freedom to move on. But in 16, we are seeing that there was a split within the Congress and the Muslims. They both retaliated and the situation worsened. The Muslims, they were of the demand of the privilege and the interest being imparted to the Muslim community. And soon during that time, that is during the period of non-cooperation till the period of civil disobedience, there happened to be the creation of several religious communities. There happened to be the creation of several religious organizations also, like the Hindu Mahasabha organization. Hindu Mahasabha organization. This Hindu Mahasabha organization, after the creation of that, which took place soon after the split within the Congress, that is the Hindus and Muslims got together, split together. So there happened to be the creation of this Hindu Mahasabha. After such creation of Hindu Mahasabha, that deteriorated the situation. What happened? The condition became very much worsened, and there were communal clashes in various parts of the country also. Communal clash means, that means the rights between the two religious sects, that is the Hindus and the Muslims. The freedom struggle was going on. Gandhiji was paving the way to get rid of the English people, but due to the internal disturbance in the country. And what was that internal disturbance? Internal disturbance means the clash between the Hindus and Muslims. The rights started to take place because of this creation. There were differences of the opinion. There were differences in the ideology, which literally led to rights in various parts of the country like UP, Delhi, Bengal, Bihar, Assam, and so on. In various sects of the country, we find that soon after that, various communal rights also took place. In spite of such disturbances, in spite of such hues and cries, Gandhiji did not give up. He anyhow or the other tried to maintain the situation, tried to maintain the lineage of getting the freedom anyhow or the other. So, he tried to subjugate the matter and tried to keep both the Hindus and Muslims at one platform. What happened? In 1930, I'm talking about the clash between the Hindus and Muslims. In 1930, it was Mr. Muhammad Iqbal, the president of Muslim League. In 1930, we are talking about this man, the president. And who was he? He was Muhammad Iqbal. In 1930, the president of the Muslim League, Muhammad Iqbal, demanded the importance of separate electorate for Muslims. He demanded a separate electorate. He demanded a separate electorate. Yes, so we were talking that in the year 1930, the president of the Muslim League was Mr. Iqbal, Muhammad Iqbal. The demand of Muhammad Iqbal and the Muslims at that time was the creation of the separate electorate. I made you all people understand also. And even the class which I was taking yesterday, when I was talking about the depressed section of the people, that is the Dalits, even there, the Dalits had their interest of creation of the separate electorate and their representative in the provincial as well as the legislative council. This separate electorate means what? Once again, I want to make it clear in your mind. Separate electorate means creation of a different constituency in which only Muslims only could contest the election. A simple word for that, reserved. A reserved place, a reserved constituency. What we are having at present also in India. Some of the constituencies in India are reserved basically for the SCs, for the STs, for the Muslim categories and so on, for the minorities also. So during that time, there was a clash. The Muslim League in the year 1930, they were demanding for separate electorate. Just the same like that of the depressed section of the people. They had also demanded the same thing. And this demand was put forward in front of the Congress leaders. And Muslim leagues were only in favor of having a separate electorate. Means in giving us a reserved place such that the Muslims can have a place in the central council or the provincial council. That was the basic demand of the Muslims in the year 1930, and that demand was put forward to the Congress. They demanded a separate electorate. He thought it would safeguard their minority political interest. He justified the Muslim demands, that is the creation of a Muslim India within India. But Muhammad Iqbal was not understanding the same thing. He was going something different with the views of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi every time kept it into mind for the unification of the country. And as such, if such a type of situation would arise, imparting of separate electorate, the internal tendency of Muslim League, the basic ideology which was hidden behind the bush, something truth which is hidden behind the bush, was that probably the Muslim League might want that they would have been thinking of creating another state, that is a minority state in India. Yes, we know that. It's a principle of power sharing. That if there happens to be a separate type of a system of imparting other privileges to other different sections, lots and lots of interests and so on, that will not literally lead to the unification of the country, rather it will lead to the creation of the several fragments of the country. That is a hurdle for the country. Muslim League basically they wanted that if we get the policy and if that policy comes into our interest, which policy? The policy of separate electorate, then probably we would fulfill our dream of creation of a new state in India. And that state would be something what? Would be a Muslim state in the country. That would be a Muslim state in the country. So that was the basic ideology. And with regard to such that, there happened to be a clash between the Hindus and the Muslims. Now let us see some of the religious organizations and what were the differences at that time. The differences of the Hindu Mahasabha and the differences within the Muslim League. The Congress and the Muslim League made efforts to talk again for unity in spite of several ups and downs. Even the Muslim leagues, they were worried about their interest. They were worried that no, since we are in minority, the majority will rule us. So that fear was there in the minorities as well. So they were correct in their stand also. But whereas the unity of the country is concerned, that was in danger. Anyhow or the other, a shortcut method was to be adopted to pave the way for the independence of the country, to pave the way for the freedom. And had there been such type of turmoils means ups and downs, differences in the opinions, then we would not strike the goal. And what was that goal? Goal of attaining the Swaraj. So Muslim leagues and the Congress leaders, they all tried their efforts to sit down together and carve a plinth and carve a platform of compromise, such that we can take the vehicle of freedom at a particular destination. They all sat down together, and in 1927, it appeared that such a unity could be possible. After the coming of the Simon Commission in India, when the constitutional reform was going on, when the Simon Commission came and along with some of its members, they talked about bringing about constitutional reforms and to bring about certain constitutional changes, how the constitution of the country will be drafted. At that time, the Muslim League as well as the Congress leaders, they sat down together, and now it could be seen that the compromise could have been possible. They thought then, the interest of the Muslim, that is the minority, can also be resolved. And Congress workers, they also thought it better, no, if this goes on, then it will be better for the country. So that went on. Slowly and slowly, the only difference between the Congress and the Muslim League was on the representation in the future assemblies that was to be elected. They came to an understanding. There was a compromise between the Congress leaders. There was a compromise between the Congress leaders and the Muslim League. But the only difference was what? The only difference was on the viewpoint that the Muslims, they wanted their elected representative for the future.